Hey, this is Heidi Dawson. If you love all things health and wellness and style of any kind, hang out here with me each week. I'm obsessed with never-ending improvement, and it's all in an effort to help each one of us live a wildly successful lifestyle. Subscribe today so you don't miss a thing.
Hi, guys. Welcome to episode 600 of the Wildly Successful Lifestyle Podcast. That's kind of a nice number, huh? 600. This is the podcast where we're all about mindset and being our best self, even when it's hard, which takes mindset work to do, right? And I have had a ton of mentors throughout my life, and I thought for episode 600, it would be kind of nice to sort of honor a guy who has helped me quite a bit. His specialty is seeing things from a different perspective, sort of outside the box. And he's helped me reframe quite a few things in my life. He doesn't know it though, because I'm not the only one he's helped. He's helped millions do the same. His name is Scott Adams. You may know him. You may have heard me talk about him before, but he is currently battling a pretty bad cancer scare. So I am sending him good thoughts all the time, but I felt like this is as good a time as any to let his guidance reframe our thoughts this week. So I was listening to him on Coffee with Scott Adams. It's on YouTube or X or wherever you get your videos or watch your videos, but it's Coffee with Scott Adams. And the other day he was talking about his book. He's the author of Reframe Your Brain, which is really good. He basically said the idea of reframing isn't initially going to blow anybody's mind. Like the initial thought isn't very sexy, but when you actually start to use it, you begin to see the value, and that's when it changes your life. So he gave a really good example, in my opinion. He said, imagine if every time you had a challenge or an obstacle come up in your life, imagine if instead of freaking out or saying I can't handle this, or any of the other things we tell ourselves when we start panicking because we have something come up, what if instead we took a breath and said, this is a puzzle. I have a puzzle to solve here. You see, your brain loves solving puzzles. It's what it's designed to do. And now instead of going high and right, you're simply giving it a puzzle that it can and will solve every time. That is what it's beautifully designed to do. So you see, that concept didn't make you gasp. It's not a fireworks moment. But the more I think about it, the more I realize how much harder I make things when I panic. Panicking is never the answer. And unfortunately, that has been my go-to in the past. I mean, if I had a big problem or something, I would start to panic fairly quickly. I remember recently I hadn't published an episode. We've been traveling for a couple weeks, and I try to get all of those out before I leave, but I hadn't gotten the last one out. And so when we got home, there was one supposed to go out the next morning, and we'd been traveling, and I thought we were going to get home early enough. It wasn't going to be a problem at all, but we didn't. I mean, the flight was late. And so it's 3 a.m. and I'm working on an episode that is supposed to publish at 5 a.m. Now, it's already done, but I was trying to publish it. So it's supposed to publish in 2 hours. And lo and behold, my Spotify creators board is having a problem. So I'm here starting to panic, because I would never want you guys to come and have no episode when it's supposed to be there. That would feel very bad to me, because I haven't missed one in 5 years, which is, it's an accomplishment that I'm proud of, just to say that. But so I have all these thoughts popping up because I'm starting to panic, and I'm like, I'm going to miss an episode deadline. I haven't missed one in years since I started. And is this the beginning of the end? I'm not techie. I'm never going to figure this out in time. Real hopeful thoughts, real helpful, hopeful thoughts. But fortunately, my husband is sitting right next to me, and he is someone who never panics and is always very logical and very calm. They're handy people to have around. So he sees me starting my panic, and he says, all right, calm down. Have you reached out to customer support? Now, I look at him like he's insane. It's 3 a.m. There's no customer support at 3 a.m. He's like, well, have you checked? And I just look at him like, no, it's 3 a.m. And so he says, well, just check. Now, I've been working on this problem for about an hour at this point, when he has calmly stepped in with his great idea, not so great in my mind. So I'm like, okay, yeah, I'll check in my mind, which is a ridiculous waste of time as I am. So I'm sending my problem over on the support chat line at 3 a.m. thinking there's no one. And then all of a sudden, there's an immediate response on that support chat line of a real person. They're like, "Hi, Heidi. How can I help you tonight?" I kid you not. Within 5 minutes, the problem was fixed. Now, of course, there was no celebratory dance from my kind, calm, thoughtful husband. He was just, I'm sure, happy that we could turn out the light and finally get to sleep. Being calm won the day. He has approached every challenge calmly since I met him. Of course, he's a pilot, and that is the only way we would want our pilots to respond. But it taught me a valuable lesson. Panicking never works. So Scott Adams is onto something when he talks about reframing how your mind sees problems. When I was busy panicking, my brain just sent all kinds of worst case scenarios because that's the input I was soliciting. But when you calmly look at it as if it were a puzzle that needs to be put together, the brain gets to work on solving it. It even enjoys the process because puzzles are fun. Problems are not. Problems and panic are not fun. They just invoke the thoughts that I was talking about earlier, whereas puzzles, it's like, okay, well, let's see if we do this or if we move this or if we maybe check with support even though your mind is telling you it's not there, but it was. See, your brain hears problem and it slams on the stress brakes. Cortisol rises, maybe you doom scroll on WebMD, freak out mode. But when it hears puzzle, it's like, ooh, I love puzzles. And then gets to work on solving that puzzle. So maybe, let's say your kid is having a meltdown at bedtime. Instead of thinking, I am in no mood for this tantrum, or I cannot handle this right now, I've got too much going on. This is going on, and this is going on. Instead of doing that and spiraling, say to yourself, this is a puzzle. How do we get teeth brushed and lights out without World War III? It's such an interesting reframe, right? So you got this puzzle, and then the brain goes, why don't we just make it a timed game? Like, who gets it all done first is in bed with the lights out the fastest. I'm timing you. Let's do it. It's a game. So now a new game's invented, and bedtime, World War III, is avoided. All because you didn't panic. You didn't come up with all the dooming thoughts. You made it a puzzle, and the brain worked it out for you, which is how it always works. So it's worth a shot. And you can use it with any of your so-called problems that pop up. It's a brilliant one-word reframe that just makes me love Scott Adams even more than I already do. And it works because your brain is a pattern recognition machine. Like, puzzles are patterns waiting to click. Problems, they're threats. So flipping the label, it flips the response. My challenge to you this week is the next time life hands you a problem, don't call it a problem. Call it a puzzle. And if you have a moment, maybe check out Coffee with Scott Adams, or maybe just send a prayer into the universe for his full recovery. That would mean a lot. Share this with 3 people who might have a problem this week. I love you guys. I'll talk to you in a few days.
Don't forget to subscribe and share with your friends, because we're just going to keep going bigger and better places together, and I love that about us. Talk to you in a few days.